are your ally.
They're not. You have a penis. Did you know that Julia Roberts had a niece that acted? I didn't know this.
Oh my God.
I really didn't. Emma Roberts, I didn't realize this. This is what Lane was telling me yesterday because I guess he's followers. Is she? I don't even know what she looks like.
She's
Sorry.
cute.
Well, we'll see here in just a second, but she seems to be a bit based. So on Wednesday, actor, I don't know, Angelica Ross accused former co-star Emma Roberts of being anti-trans.
Normal.
Okay, ladies, that's enough. Let's, get back to work. And she then looks at me and she goes, don't you mean lady? And she turns around like this.
Ow!
And covers her mouth and goes back here, but can't see. I'm looking at her dead ass in the camera like, what the did you just say?
Narcissist.
Yes.
And I'm standing there looking her dead ass in the
That's
damn
a woman?
thing.
It
And
is.
I'm like, trying to process the she just said.
Say it.
And
Beat her up.
I'm like, I'm standing there and she walked away. My blood is boiling.
That's a woman. Though,
Well,
right?
that's because of all the hormones that you're taking.
Oh,
or
wait,
something.
is
like
that
that.
a trans?
That's
That's a trans individual. That's Octavia shopped at Spencer's.
Well, I will say there's a straight man. I find her very feminine. I mean, him. As a straight man, I find him rather
It
attractive.
makes it a little difficult. I think that's hilarious, by the way, to do that and be like, don't you mean woman instead of woman?
I looked at her dead ass.
I don't like that.
At first, I wasn't sure if she
Weird.
meant if he meant like dead naming.
No.
It seems to me like it was a threat to beat up Emma Roberts. That man threatened to beat up Emma Roberts.
I think so too. Well, but look, this
that was a
isn't.
threat.
This is not the only thing that Emma Roberts did. That's funny, right? That's throwing comedy in an insult, right? So I like that. I'm with that. But also, she apparently mocked Ross's voice a little bit. So here's a this is kind of funny. Look, if you're going to make a stand in Hollywood, do it in a fun and exciting way. If it's going to be like your last hurrah and they're going to kick you off the set and you're never going to work again, make sure it's a joke. I like it. All right, so here's the quote. We're all sitting around and I'm copying Cody's accent. Didn't know he had one. Well, then how the hell are you copying it? Emma then copies my voice and laugh and drops it several octaves. I was shook.
First off, the impressive thing there is Emma Roberts must have serious vocal range.
Yes.
Very.
To drop it a couple
Yes.
of octaves.
That's valid.
Yeah.
I love that she did that, by the way. Just sitting around, no fear whatsoever, making these comments in front of the director, sitting around doing this. And by the way, just so people know, here's Angelica when he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, can you leave that up for a second?
I mean, looks more
We didn't-
feminine in the Navy, actually.
Well, yeah.
I'm actually just as attracted to her, him, in the Navy.
Oh, my gosh. You
Sure,
can't
if I
see
was on
this.
a boat with him? I mean, her?
What?
I don't know.
You can't see this on the...
I'm just saying.
He was very popular with the sailors, okay?
Well,
I'm just
yeah.
saying. Just some of the sailors, not all of the sailors.
Yeah, I'm straight as long as I don't
Okay.
look you in the eyes. I don't know how.
He was in the
Yeah.
Village
Is this
People
the
division.
Prince rule that you're talking
I
about?
don't know, dude. You're the one who came up with the rules. I can't follow all this
All right,
stuff.
bring that back up. Do me a favor.
I'm just horny.
You can't really see this. If you can zoom in a little bit, that's fine. But so it says that my soul smiles because I know myself in a biblical manner. I don't understand. If you know someone biblically, doesn't that imply sex?
It depends on if it's Old
Doesn't-
Testament or New Testament.
Well,
Yeah.
you know them.
I think they're trying to
biblically.
claim the God thing, right?
I don't.
They'll always say this, though.
No.
Their argument is, God doesn't make any mistake. I knew that I was born God doesn't make any mistakes, right? And I'm born trans. It's like, well, hold on a second. So you're saying, so God knew you, before you were in your mother's womb. He numbered every hair on your head. You were fearfully and wonderfully created. Like, oh, I forgot the cock.
Well,
It was Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was distracted.
God doesn't make mistakes.
Well-
That's why you have to surgically remove
Yeah.
the non-mistake and then reopen it as a wound with a medical device. It's just it really is gaslighting that's taking place from the left. It's like, this is the way I was made. There are no mistakes. No, a plastic surgeon made you that way. If you're lucky.
but his hand was guided. His scalpel was guided by God.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
true. That's true.
I mean,
Gave
if
him the
it's an Old
skills and
Testament
ability.
God, you're getting stoned. I don't advocate for that. I'm just saying it depends on what God you're talking about.
That was in the Navy.
Right. That was
And
Navy.
I miss the good old days, in the Navy where you could just call out a they just run away.
That was a guy. Do I dress up like a Sheila? Look at that.
Like a Sheila? That's
That's a man.
That's so 1993.
I know. I love it, though. But unfortunately, Ross confirmed last night that Roberts called and apologized.
Oh,
this
my gosh.
news came out. I didn't even know this part of the story. Come on.
Why?
There's an apology. What? You weren't wrong.
You apologize.
It is a man.
You apologize to the person who basically threatened to kill you for a voice. I looked and saw her dead ass in the mirror, and then you're like, oh, I'm sorry. I did do a silly voice. It did warrant a death threat.
Absolutely.
But we should say that this is one of the few times that somebody on the far left actually accepts an apology. Right?
Well,
I mean, there's no redemption for the most part.
Yeah, but going out and kind of trying to like say this type of stuff in the media and putting that stuff out there, like
narcissist.
Okay, yeah, she apologized, but let's hope that she doesn't ever work again, kind of stuff. So if that's the way this apology comes across, then absolutely not. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. So let me read the apology real quick and see what they say. So I didn't mean that. Thank you, Emma Roberts.
This is the response.
This is the response.
Do we have the apology?
I don't see the apology.
We just have the response.
She called and apologized.
Oh, she called and apologized.
Okay. If you have the apology, that would be breaking the law, sir.
Okay.
All right. So here's the response. Thank you, Emma Roberts, for calling and apologizing, recognizing your behavior was not that of an ally. It's because she's your enemy. That's why.
You think ovaries are your ally?
They're not. You have a penis. I will leave the line open to follow up on your desire to do better and support social justice causes with your platform.
That's the mob. That is when people use the term mafia. That is the mob. Like, you know, I appreciate that you are going to be an ally, and I appreciate that you want to walk on your own two legs out of here, and I appreciate that you will say the things that I want you to say if you value your puppy. Because it would be a shame. It would be a shame with a chick with just left a cyanide steak in your bush and, oh, your puppy ain't there no more. So I appreciate you being on board with the LGBTQ plus agenda, bitch. This is a shakedown.
It is absolutely 100%. Yeah. Do me a favor. Hit like if you think that Robert's apologizing is cowardly. Right? It's a coward's way out of this. You made 2 jokes that were funny that we know of. You probably made a lot more that weren't reported on, especially behind the back of this person.
I'll guarantee, though, Gerald, that her agent and Gail said, if you want to work again, you better make this right. That's what happens. And
I know, but
if you don't do this, the UK Parliament's going to give you a call as well.
And I understand that. And look, I agree. I understand that. But you take the stand that Chris Pavlovski just did, or you don't make the joke.
Yeah.
If you want to continue to work, you make this decision beforehand. You don't get to come back afterwards because we know exactly where you stand. We know exactly what you believe. You said it, and now you're coming back and capitulating because you think they aren't going to do this to you. They're not going to just kick you out and not let you work again, or maybe they're not going to call you next time. They're thinking of a role. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Eventually, it's going to go away. The problem, and I understand what you're saying, Brian, you're not advocating for it, so I'm not coming at you with it, but look, this is why these situations still exist in the first place, is because people do not take a stand. It will cost you something to stand up for what you believe. It will absolutely cost you. Otherwise, they're not beliefs. They're just ideas.
That's right.
That just get molded to whatever the society says. Rumble stands up. It could cost them something. Something meaning everything.
Yeah.
Especially if the United States government follows up with said request, right? It can cost them everything. It is worth more that you stand up and say it, because guess what? You've told us there's tons of people in Hollywood that are conservative.
Yeah.
That are just too afraid to stand up. What if you all stood up at once?
That's right.
What if you all said,
well, you define yourself. You define yourself on who you are under pressure, under real pressure, when you could lose something. Otherwise, what are you worth? What lines are you willing to defend?
They would if they all stood up at once, there would be a lot of Jewish representatives tearing their clothes. Be a lot of money lost.
I can't handle this, and they're all ripped.
That's the Old Testament.
I didn't know that.
Brian, we were talking about that. That's back in the day, was tearing their clothes.
Sackcloth and ashes.
Yes. When you
rip your clothing. Which made you have to go buy more clothing?
Oh, I think probably
your clothing.
As much.
The Jews probably bought off-brand clothing for the days they knew they were going to let's wear Champion.
It was all.
Wait, I'll say that tomorrow's the day of mourning. Where there's so many. Where are all the Jews at Marshall's today?
It's Hebrews Warehouse. It was all a big grift by them.
Have you ever tried to tear a Champion sweatshirt? That's a thick fabric. You got strong fingers. You got strong tensile strength.
I knew I should have won the American Apparel.
So look.
But Old Navy's too boxy, I said.
Even though she did this apology, Look, all of the lefty celebrities know that this is a grift. The trans agenda is a grift.
Nothing is going to be enough. Right now, it used to be about gender-neutral bathrooms, and now it's, oh, you can't even do a voice. And Brian, you know this. Here's the thing. Whenever I tell a story, I accidentally do an impression.
You slip into it.
Yeah, people will say, oh, you're doing black voice, or oh, you're doing Asian voice, or oh, you're doing Gerald voice, or it doesn't matter what it is, oh, you're doing lady voice. That's what a lot of people do, especially if you're a performer. Yeah. It doesn't mean that there's any, there is no grace anymore. For the people who claim that they want to be empathetic, it's all a game of gotcha. It's all a game of ruining people's lives for a moment of, maybe they didn't even do something wrong, they'll just fabricate it anyway. It extends to everything. And by the way, gender-neutral bathrooms, that's how it started. You would think they add something more. Even in this office, we've had to deal with it. That's not enough.
No.
You know, the American with Disabilities Act, it's there for a reason. There's no paper.
I'm just glad he finally figured it out. Because when you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah.
You know. So I just
when he's not using the telekinesis, it's
I figured he would.
It's just a handicap.
Try to. Yeah, it really is.
I can. I'll expand that doorway. I know a guy.
Watch Louder with Crowder live Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.